Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is me, Skin Glow and Afro. Today's topic of choice I wanted to do about is black women and breast cancer. First of all, to address this topic, first of all, we need to understand what breast cancer is. Now, the CDC, the Centers of Disease Control in America, defines breast cancer as a disease that causes the cells in the breast to grow out of control. Now, even though breast cancer predominantly affects women, it can also affect men as well. There have been, over the past couple of years, more incidences of men getting breast cancer. Still far lower than women who get breast cancer. However, men are starting to get breast cancer more, and that is an issue as well that needs to be addressed. Why are men getting breast cancer when years ago they never used to get it that regularly? It says that breast cancer, there are many different kinds of breast cancer. The kind of breast cancer depends on which cells in the breast turn into cancer. Breast cancer can begin in different parts of the breast. A breast is made up of three main parts: lobules, ducts, and the connective tissue. The lobules are the glands that produce milk. The ducts are tubes that carry milk to the nipple. The connective tissue, which consists of fibrous and fatty tissue, surrounds and holds everything together. Most breast cancers begin in the ducts or lobules. Breast cancer can spread outside the breast through blood vessels and lymph vessels. When breast cancer spreads to other parts of the body, it is said to have metastasized. According to breastcanceruk.org, this is another charity that's here in the UK. The UK statistics on breast cancer are: breast cancer is the most common cancer in the UK population. It represented 15% of all new cancer cases in 2016, and it's the most common cancer in women globally. In UK, around 54,500 new cases of breast cancer were diagnosed in 2016. In men, there were around 360 new cases in 2016. 18% of breast cancers were in women under 50 between 2014 to 2016. 24% of breast cancers occurred in women over 75 between 2014 to 2016. Now, for some American statistics on breast cancer, the National Breast Cancer Foundation, I shall be putting all the links down below that I have searched for these statistics and facts. I will be getting to black women eventually. I just want to, first start with what is breast cancer, the statistics, and then go into why black women are more likely to get breast cancer. So it says 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. It said in 2019, an estimated 268,600 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women in the US, as well as 62,930 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer. 62% of breast cancer cases are diagnosed at a localized stage, for which the 5-year survival rate is 99%. They then go on to say this year an estimated 41,760 women will die from breast cancer in the US. Although rare, men get breast cancer too. The lifetime risk for US men is about 1 in 1,000. An estimated 2,670 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year in the United States, and approximately 500 will die. 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in American women, except for skin cancers. There are over 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. On average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. Female breast cancer represents 15.2% of all new cancer cases in the US. Before I go on further to more websites, I just want you to know that I, from doing previous research when I was in university, found out by myself that from doing Google searches, you know, looking at the journal articles, you know, the peer-reviewed journal articles, found out that before it used to be more cases of black women getting breast cancer compared to white women. However, that has now leveled up to where white women and black women are both likely to get breast cancer at the same rate. However, the problem is, here's where race and ethnicity come into play. Black women are more likely to die of breast cancer than white women, despite getting breast cancer at the same rate as white women. Now, why is this? I'm currently on this website called healthline.com, and it explains that black women are more likely to die because of a few reasons. The way breast cancer behaves in black women. So it says the breast cancer mortality death rates are about 40% higher among black women compared to white women. This is US statistics, by the way. I shall get some UK statistics afterwards. And black women are more likely to be diagnosed with a more advanced stage breast cancer compared to white women. So there's the other thing. Breast cancer is found later in black women. So that by the time it's discovered, it's already at a later stage. The tumours of black patients are also more likely to be larger and are spread to the auxiliary underarm lymph nodes. So right here are your lymph nodes, glands at the time of diagnosis. The risk of developing a breast cancer increases in all women as we get older, but black women are more likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer at younger ages compared to white women. Younger than 40 to 45 years old, the population-based incidence rates of breast cancer are higher for black women compared to white women. About 30% of all newly diagnosed black breast cancer patients are younger than 50 years old compared to only 20% of white patients. And then it goes on to say, is breast cancer more aggressive in black women? It says one of the most aggressive patterns of breast cancer is a subtype commonly known as triple negative breast cancer, or TNBC. TNBC accounts for around 15% of all breast cancers that we see in the United States and Europe. Its characteristics include often more difficult to detect on routine mammograms, tends to cause larger tumours compared to non-TNBC, more likely to metastasize, aka spread to the other organs in the body. Because of its aggressive nature, TNBC is more likely to require chemotherapy treatments compared to non-TNBC. TNBC is twice as common in black women compared to white women, accounting for approximately 30% of cases. This increased occurrence of TNBC in black women also contributes to survival disparities. However, TNBC is more common in women who have inherited mutations in the BRCA1 gene. Jeez. I'm not going to read any more further from that. However, it goes on to say that one of the ways to reduce the risk of, well, not necessarily just reduce the risk of breast cancer, but to, you know, help fight breast cancer, one of the ways is early detection. However, sometimes when we as black people go to the doctors, GPs, as we call them here, general practitioners over here, we are not always believed when we present with a problem. We're not always believed. So it's kind of a case of, where do we go from here? Like, say if you feel a lump in your breast, and they might just dismiss you and say, oh, it might just be a benign cyst and it's going to go away by itself. Like, that's just one example of what I'm talking about. We are not always believed when we present to these doctors. So it's easy to tell a black woman, you know, these health promotion initiatives say that women need to be going for the mammograms when they reach a certain age, you know, or go for your smear test when it comes to, you know, detecting cervical cancer. But it's not that easy when you're a black woman, because there are, as they said, racial disparities which lead to, you know, you not wanting to go because you don't think you will be believed. And sometimes the care that you receive, if you do receive any care, to do believe you initially, it may prevent you from not going back. So this is not just a case of black women need to be going to the doctors presenting with cases. The doctors need to be retrained so that they can actually address these issues, understand that black women's bodies are different. You know, it's even explained it there. Our bodies are different, and breast cancer behaves differently in our bodies compared to white women. So I don't understand how people can sit there and just say it's a case of just going to your doctors. Even though I'm only 31 years old, every time I'm in the shower or in the bath, I am checking my breasts, because you just never know. You just never know these days. People are getting breast cancer younger and younger. So it's paramount for you to be checking your breast all the time. Now I'm going to put a picture up here of the signs and symptoms of breast cancer. So if you have any of these signs and symptoms, please go to your doctors straight away. You know, any of the signs and symptoms can be you have nipple discharge, your nipples are inverting, you feel a lump in your breast. Now sometimes you do feel like your breast can feel a bit lumpy, but that's just the glands and stuff. But you will know the difference, because you know your body, so you will know the difference between, like, you know, feeling a lumpy thing, that's just your glands, and then the difference is, you know, an actual lump that you've never felt before, that just feels like it doesn't belong there, and it's just literally just cropped up. Promise the statistics on black women in the UK who get breast cancer. It says on BBC News that black women in England are almost twice as likely to be diagnosed with advanced breast cancer as white women. With advanced breast cancer, according to a new analysis by Cancer Research UK and Public Health England. Now this was in 2016, so this is the most up-to-date research I can find in the UK, because unfortunately here in the UK it's kind of like plucking your eyelashes out to find up-to-date information, because, you know, it goes through peer reviews and everything. But in the US, I always find like a ton of articles when I'm looking for something in the US, but trying to find it here in the UK is like a needle in a haystack. It's not necessarily happening. And that's basically it. Black women here in the UK are twice as likely as white women to be diagnosed with an advanced form of breast cancer. So I wanted to round off this video by, you know, just simply stating what I said before. Make sure to always check your breasts. I'm saying this to the men as well, even though this video is about predominantly black women. I'm saying this to the men as well. Make sure to always check your breasts. Don't go straight away into panic mode if you do find something. I know it's easier said than done, but don't go straight into panic mode, because like I said, it can be a benign cyst, you know. It's not necessarily breast cancer if you do feel something. And also another thing you have to understand is, I know people say, like, you know, hair is just hair and all this kind of stuff, and breasts are just, you know, but you have to understand, like, breasts are, it makes a woman feel feminine, you know, like it's part of who you are as a woman. So for a woman to find out she has breast cancer, that is like losing a part of who she is, like losing a part of her identity. And this is exactly why they have mastectomies now, so that they can have their breasts, you know, remodeled, you know, to give them a sense of their confidence back, because it's demoralizing to them to, you know, find out they have breast cancer, they've lost their hair and they've lost their breast as well, because their breasts have to be cut out in order to get rid of the tumors. So, you know, try to be a bit more sensitive. I'm especially saying this to the doctors as well. Don't just say to them, yes, you have breast cancer, this is what we need to do. You need to understand cultural differences. There are differences in culture that impact upon how a woman feels about her body. Women, we are very much in tune with our body. You know, there is like, I mean, I would say there's stereotypes, but I will say, you know, a woman feeling, you know, confident, curvy, these are the kind of things that they tend to associate with black women. So to lose her breasts, that's like a part of her is gone. You understand what I'm saying? So like try and have a bit more, try and be a bit more sensitive. And also for black women, don't be ashamed to voice when you feel like something is not going your way. Don't let these doctors walk all over you. I said it in a previous video. Don't let the doctors walk all over you. Speak your mind and speak it proud, you know? Don't let anyone mollycoddle you and try and say that you're just exaggerating. No. Like, say like, oh, if you're not going to help me, do you know someone else who will help me? It's 2020 now, and women should not still be dying from breast cancer. Yeah, more shit needs to be done. And you know, I said it before, but when it's like a black woman who dies from something that could have been prevented, not just something that could have been prevented, she had done her part to go to the doctors, but the doctors were not doing enough. You feel me? So this is what I'm saying. More training, more diversity training needs to be done. Possibly more black doctors who are oncologists who can, you know, understand the cultural differences, so that the black woman will not feel like she's just talking to someone who has absolutely no understanding and who refuses to understand. That is the end of this video. Please let me know your breast cancer experiences down below, whether it's you felt something and you've gone to the GP and it turned out it wasn't breast cancer, but you feel like not enough was done regardless. And what do you think about, what do you think is the reason behind black men, well, should I say men in general, being more likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer in the last few years? Because like I said, it's not as high as women, but it's still it's climbing up there. So what do you think the reasons are behind that? Okay, bye.